Hello, guys. Thank you for those of you that hopped on the call this morning. I did not record it, but I am going to actually record this time. It never is as good the second time around, but I want you guys to have the information. So I am carving out some more time to do this again for you, those of you that weren't able to hop on the call, because I feel like this information is that important that you have. So, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and then dive right in. You guys, here, first of all, I want you guys to know that I don't call us together for a separate call very often. So when I do, it's because number one, I'm acting on obedience, and it's because I've prayed about it, and that I truly believe it's that important. And so that's why I put together this call this morning, even as last minute as it might have been, because I really believe the information that I pulled away from Carlita and learned from Carlita, I wanted to get to you guys right away, and didn't want you guys to have to wait for that. One of the things that I had the honor of doing this week, oftentimes I do my goal setting with my leaders, and this week I actually had the opportunity to meet with Carlita and do my goal setting and really just talk about my leadership, because we're all in the leadership business. We're leading ourselves before we can lead others. And so we were talking about that. And one of the things I absolutely love about Carlita and admire and respect is the fact that she always shoots straight. There's never sugarcoating the message. And so I always take away so much from her and always have a deeper respect and trust in her and in her leadership because of what she shares with me. And one of the things that we talked about is areas of improvement. And that's where I'm going to be vulnerable with all of you guys and just tell you that, I'm growing, and I love the fact that you guys give me a safe place to fall and a safe place to grow. And I love that you guys have trusted my leadership, or you wouldn't have showed up today. Or you wouldn't be listening to this video. But one of the things I know is that I have to speak truth in love. And I think, so many times I will speak in kindness and in love, but maybe not always shoot straight. And so that is where I am growing my leadership. And my adopted verse, Leadership 101 verse, is let not kindness and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck and write them upon the tablet of thy heart. It doesn't say kindness, and it doesn't just say truth. It says kindness and truth. And so my heart today, you guys, is really just to share with you guys the truth about your business and really help you to maybe even relook at how you're living out your purpose in this business, and maybe reevaluate the direction of your business and empower you at the same time. So that's what this call is meant to do today, is to help you guys raise the bar, and build your business based on excellence. One of the things that I know I have failed to do as a leader is emphasize the importance of plugging in. I find myself often encouraging our team to plug in, encouraging our team to listen into calls. But you guys, I'm going to tell you the truth. Plugging in is a critical part of your success. Plugging into the calls that we are gifted every single week. There's a reason and a purpose for those calls. This is your power source to your success, and they are, quite frankly, non-negotiable. So I am not encouraging you guys to be on these calls. I was never encouraged to be on these calls. These calls are critical to your success, and I don't want to short sell them to you guys. Carlita emphasized the fact that, there's 3 areas that are key to our business success, and it's systems, skill set, and mindset. And our 3 calls that are purposed throughout the week are set up strategically so that you're getting a dose of each one of these every other day, right? So they're strategically in place to fuel you when you need it. And here's why. What we know in this business, you guys, is the fact that, you know, the world is trying to strip us away of the hope that we've been given in this business. The world is out there trying to strip away this opportunity and telling us that, you know, these businesses never work. The world is trying to strip away our dreams, you know, our whys, and telling us that, you know what, we don't deserve this business and the success of this business. And because the world is out there fighting against us, we've got to plug in to our power source. We've got to plug into the people that have gone and done this. We've got to quit listening to the press, the negative press, and we've got to start listening to the voice of truth and what we know to be true. There are people promoting every single day in this business. There are people achieving their goals in this business every single day. There are people retiring their husbands and themselves from the workforce so that they can live the life they choose with the ones they choose to live it with. There are people out there impacting lives one after another, and we hear it every single day in this business. You guys, that is the truth of this business. And when you choose to not plug in and you choose not to participate in these calls, you are disconnecting yourself from the truth, from the power source. Because if you're not being filled up, then you're being filled up with someone and something. And if you're not being filled up by the truth, you're being filled up by the negativity and the press, negative press that wants to pull this away from you guys. So it is critical to plug in. On Monday nights, that is designed to help us teach us the systems in this business, you guys. It's our Discover call. It's teaching us what we do that is the very most important in this business, and that is sharing the business opportunity. And if you don't have guests getting on those calls, you need to be on those calls, because you're going to learn how to invite guests on these calls. You're going to learn how to share this business and paint a vision of what this business is doing for other people on those calls. It is critical that you're on there. Skill set on Wednesday nights. Our Zoom, we're going to get the skill set we need to build this business and to be effective. And on the Saturday morning calls, I know our team has been promoting the Go for Gold calls. The Go for Gold calls are skill set calls, and they are wonderful. But you guys, we are going to replace those calls with the book club that Carlita is doing every Saturday morning, because we've got to have something that we're fueling our mindset with. And those book club calls are essential for doing that. So you can listen to the Go for Gold calls, but the recordings for those would be on your time and at your discretion. But the ones that I'm telling you that are critical to your success are the Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. You guys, if you are not in the habit of being on those calls at this point, I tell you, set your phone alarm. Set your phone alarm, you guys, and make that a priority. As John Maxwell says, he says, don't trust your future to your memory. I'm telling you, don't trust your future to your memory. Don't trust your dreams to your memory. Set your phone alarm and be present on those calls. The other side to that Carlita was emphasizing is the fact that being on the live call is more impactful than being on a recorded call for lots of reasons. Number one, if you miss the live calls, you will have intentions of getting on the recorded call, but most people never get on the recorded call. If you don't set it on your calendar and in your phone and make that a priority, it will not be a priority tomorrow or the next day or the next day or the next day, and it will keep getting pushed off. And the reason we have these calls set up on a kind of an every other day basis is because it's when you will need it the most. It's kind of like the shot in your arm that you need to fuel you up so you can go pour out to others. And if you miss that, then you're missing that shot in the arm, okay? And so, or if you delay it. So being on the live call should be what you do regularly. The recorded calls should only be rarely, okay? And so I cannot emphasize that enough. You guys, I often think that, even as a mom, and I think I have found this in my leadership, is we want to make life easier for those that are coming up behind us. Whether it's our children, we're trying to pad their steps, right? We want them to have it easier, want them to have an easier life. And, I find myself doing that for you guys too. I want to pad your steps, and spoon feed you and give you what you need. And here's the bottom line, you guys. I can't do that and expect you to have the same success that I have, because we all have to pay a price for success. And as John Maxwell says, he says, you know what? There are no discounts on success. Everyone has to pay retail for success. And so I'm going to tell you right now, I'm on these calls. I have been on these calls for the last 12 and a half years that I've been part of my business. Were they always convenient? No. My husband left. We did our calls, our skill set calls on Sunday night. My husband left Sunday afternoons for his trips. And I remember reinventing a nap time for my daughter, or a bedtime prior to the call, so that she was in bed. And then I would nurse my son with earbuds in my ears, so that I could get fed the information I needed in order to be successful with this business. I could have had every excuse in the world not to do this business, not to have the activity, not to be plugged in. I could have had every excuse imaginable. But the bottom line is, we all think that we are the busiest person in the world. Every single one of us think that. But the bottom line is, it's whether or not you believe it's a priority, that you believe that you are capable of achieving your goals that you came into this business for, the way you believed when you signed up initially. And the truth here, you guys, is there were no shortcuts then, and there are no shortcuts now. We didn't have Zoom. We had one call a week, and then everything else that we learned, we had to drive to. Discover Arbonne's were not a phone call. They were a location. And if I wanted to get good at learning how to share this opportunity, I drove. And I drove 45 minutes away to Carlita's house from where I lived then to go get fueled up on Discover Arbonne's. If I didn't have somebody going, it didn't keep me from going and learning. And I was there. And I think because we have Zoom and we have technology at our fingertips, and it's so easy to plug into our system, skill set, and mindset, that it's also easy not to do. And so people are not taking it at face value the way that we did when we started our business. And so I want to tell you guys right now, I cannot sugarcoat this. This is critical to your success. You have to be plugged in. Your business will live or die based on you plugging in. And Carlita has said that for years, that if you are not plugged in to your power source, you will die in this business. It's truth, you guys, and I don't know how else to put it more frankly than she did. And your business depends on you plugging into these calls. You guys, we've got to be willing to work our business 10 hours a week. This is a part-time or full-time job. It is not a sometime. So if you're not pouring in 10 hours a week, you cannot expect a paycheck that is going to take care of you and your family. And you cannot expect to progress in this business. You've got to be willing to invest in yourself, invest in these calls, and invest in the activity that is expected of us in this business. These calls help us build an alliance, you guys, because not one of us is smarter than the sum of all of us. And so when we come together as a unit, we're going to pull from each other's strengths, right? And we're going to be able to learn from each other. And that's what that unity will do for you. And it will empower you with belief. Absolutely. The next thing these calls are going to do, you guys, is it's going to help you be more growth conscious. So you're going to understand that the power of this business comes from your willingness to grow to the top, not just go to the top, but grow to the top. So we've got to be very growth minded in this business. And, God's not done with me yet. And I have in no shape or form arrived, and I continue to be growth conscious. How can I learn? What can I do better? Instead of being goal conscious, because what we know is goal focuses us on our destination, but growth will focus us on the journey. When we're focused on the goal will motivate us, but the growth will mature us into the leader we need to become. Goals are seasonal, and growth is lifelong. Goals challenge people, but growth will change people. And I don't know about you guys, but I want to be changed, and I want to be able to impact other people's lives with change. You guys, if we hit our goal, we've reached our plateau. But if our goal is growth and we reach a goal in our business, we're going to keep on going. Because here's what I've learned. I actually learned this on the book club call today, speaking of book club. What I have learned is that, and what was expressed this morning, is if your goal is a promotion level, guys, national vice president is as high as you can go in this business. So when you get there, you've arrived. It's done. But when growth is your goal, forget the titles. When growth is your goal, you're going to hit the titles, but you're going to continue to grow, because when you reach that national vice president level, you're going to be stretching for, who am I going to be next year? What am I going to be like next year? Who can I grow into next year? You guys, and the sky is the limit when you're focused on growth. The next thing that I want to share with you guys is our next book club, which will begin in January. I want to I want you to go ahead and get this book in your hands. You are worth $12 of investing in yourself to get this book. It's 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John Maxwell. This will be our next book club. We will start the book in January, but we are going to continue with book club from now until then. Our 10 a.m. Saturday morning calls are not going away. We're going to continue to work on building mindset between now and then. So again, carve that time out on your calendar, but get prepared and have this book handy. You will be glad that you have jumped on the personal growth wagon. As I mentioned, there's no discounts for success. Everyone has to pay retail for success. And thank you, John Maxwell, for that reassurance in helping me to understand the value that has to be put on the sacrifices that we have to make in this business. Are there sacrifices? Yes, you guys. But the thing about it in this business is they're worth it. They're absolutely worth it. Your sacrifices are worth it. The second thing that I want to talk to you guys about and really need to quit encouraging, but instead tell you that is critical to the success of your business is your personal activity. We set the standard as 8 minimum. That's executing 8. Well, what we know is we have to overbook to execute on 8, because we know cancellations are just going to happen. They're a natural part of an appointment-based business of any kind. Hair appointments, doctor's appointments, it doesn't matter, dentist appointments, cancellations occur. So you've got to book 10 in order to execute on 8. And what we know is 8 minimum will give you the assurance that you're on the pathway towards your success in this business, towards your goals. So I want to ask you guys, how many of you are doing that? Because if there's issues in your business, or your business isn't going at the pace that you want, or isn't going the direction you want, you guys, it is because of personal activity. That is the one area that you probably need to rise up and set greater expectations for yourself. I think we have lowered the bar for ourselves. We have lowered it so low that we can't even get under the bar. And that's not who we're meant to be, you guys. We are people of excellence, or you would not have been invited into this business. You would have not seen the business for what it can be. And I believe all of you, knowing your stories, have been called to this business for a purpose and a plan much greater than yourself. But it starts with your own personal activity. And for me personally, that's just acting in obedience. I have been given a gift, you guys, that will take a life of its own and will be able to impact a world of people out there, but not unless I'm willing to do the work first. And it starts with me, and it starts with me being obedient with the gift I've been given. So if your personal activity is not in place, you've got to ask yourself, what is my obstacle? What's holding me back from getting my obstacle or hitting my obstacle? I hear all the time, well, if I could get the activity, I'd do it. If I could just get it, go get it. You guys, nobody's holding you back from getting the activity. You're just not calling enough people. So you've got to identify, number one, am I really prioritizing it? Because if I was prioritizing it, I'd have my activity. How much time am I really devoting to making the calls? How many no's am I really getting? Am I just getting answering machines? Because that's not a no. Am I just getting voicemail? Because that's not a no. Am I really calling the number of people that I need to call in order to get the activity? Am I upping my odds? Because I know for every 10 calls I may get 10 people on the line that say yes. So are you giving yourself enough odds? So identify that. If you feel like your calendar is overflowing and there's just no room for activity, I'm going to tell you right now, make room. And here's what I know and what I did early in my business. I didn't think I had enough time for this business. But what I learned is we make time for the things that are important to us. And if your dreams and your why is important to you, you will carve out the time. And one of the things Carlita taught me is, what can I give up on my calendar right now that is not serving my goals, that is not serving and investing into my family and my family's future? Because if it's not serving and investing into my family's future, then it is like taking a withdrawal from my family and my future. So I've got to remove that temporarily so that I can make the room for the things that will move me towards those goals and move me in the direction of where I want to go and what I want to do with my why. And so make room for it. So if that's the obstacle, I'm telling you right now, you have room on your calendar. Every single person does. You have the number of people in your life. Everybody does, and everybody will when they get out there and make room for that. Here's a neat way to look at it, and Carlita reminded me of this, and there's a document that I'm going to show you in just a few minutes that you can print out on Tammy's website. But are you asking enough people? 8 activities minimum basically gets you in front of about 40 people in your month. And when you want to look at how many people do I really need to talk to in a month in order to move and progress my business, it's 40 faces. Now, I prefer to do group presentations because it's 8 appointments on my calendar versus 40. But listen, I do not want to shortchange those of you that like to do one-on-ones, because you can get successful in one-on-ones. You can get successful in group presentations. You can get successful on sample packs, on drop-offs. But are you telling the Arbonne story to 40 faces a month? Because if you're not, that's a good goal to shoot for. That's a good focus point for you. And then the next part of that is to go for no. If you feel like you're getting no's one after another, don't give up, because I promise you your yeses are right around the corner. Go for your no's, because every no you get gets you closer to the yes. And then the next piece of that Carlita reminded me of is to stay on the offense. When you're told no to a party or a group presentation or even to this business, do you go on the defense and end it there? Or do you stay on the offense and push? And what I mean by that, I'm not saying to be pushy. I'm saying, do you push back? Do you ask another question and gain yards? It isn't about being knocked down. That's not what's important. It's about how many yards you gain when you get back up. So are you asking questions? If they won't do a group presentation, are you asking if you can do a swing by, or let them share a sample pack, or do they have referrals? Are you continuing to ask questions and stay on the offense? That's what we have to do in this business. If someone tells you no to the business, can you ask them for permission to follow up with them at a later time when it might be a better time, or ask them for a referral, somebody they know that could benefit from Arbonne's income? You guys, ask questions and then do your hostess coaching and execute on those activities. You're going to have cancellations. What do you do with those? Do you reschedule them right then, or replace them if they don't reschedule? Because if you're not doing that and you're allowing cancellations to happen to you, and living in the gloom and doom of, oh, my party's canceled, woe is me, you guys, you're not living in a victorious mindset. You've got to get out there and claim what you want from this business. That one cancellation isn't going to make or break you unless you don't replace it. You have complete control over that. You have complete control over your business and over your calendar and over your success. But it's what you do with cancellations that makes the difference, you guys. It's in those moments that you're going to grow to the next level and not just go. It states that motivation keeps you going and consistency keeps you growing. Isn't that the truth? The consistency is going to come with your personal growth, you guys. It's going to come with your personal growth and what you choose to do with that. Now, the next thing that I want to share with you is the 40 faces, and this is just a kind of a visual that you can use, that you can print off of the livelovegive.us website, and it can kind of help you keep your tracker throughout the month. The next form that I want to show you is one that Carlita shared with me. And guys, I think this is a game changer. These next few slides, I truly believe, could be game changers for us. She gives these forms to the people that start her business and join her. And she basically has them fill out the name of the people that they would love to be a part of their dream team and write down why they would be good at it and how Arbonne can help them. Now, most people won't take the time to write this down, but I'm telling you, if you want to be successful, you'll do what most people won't do, and you'll write this down, because when you take it from here and you put it on paper, you bring it to life, okay? And so she lists those people that she wants to spend more time with, who's successful and hardworking, who's a person of influence and lights up a room, who can afford to start an Arbonne business with the skincare or healthy living, or isn't afraid to go work for it, and who has said, I need Arbonne, because they are discontent, they have a dream, they have a desire that's not being fulfilled. Who is it that has expressed to you they need Arbonne by saying, you know what, I'm so tired of missing my kids' events, or I wish my husband was home more, I don't know how I'm going to play for college or how we're going to live off retirement. Who has told you they need Arbonne by sharing with you their discontents in this life? Write their names down. This verbiage, you guys, I think is going to change. It's going to be a game changer for all of us. I truly do. This was verbiage that came from Linda Parker that Carlita has adopted. And it's direct verbiage of how you can share the business with people. And basically it just says, I don't know if this would be a fit for you or not, but these are the reasons I thought of you and thought you would be so good at this. And then share with them those list of reasons that you wrote down. But because you wrote them down, you brought them to life in your memory. Okay? So I thought you would be great because you're outgoing, because you're kind and caring. And this is how Arbonne can help you, be able to be at home with your kids if that's what you want. There really is a different way. And share with them what they have said to you that made you think Arbonne could fill that need for them. And then share, would you be willing to get together and let me share this with you before you decide yes or no? That is a game-changing question. Because what you're telling them is, I'm not expecting you to say yes, and I'm not expecting you to say no. Because regardless of what you say, that is your decision. My job is just to get you the information before you decide that. So that question, you guys, gets people off the defense and makes them more willing to meet with you. I had a get together last night, and this is exactly what I used to this verbiage that I'm going through with each one of you is exactly what I used last night at my event with my hostess, who I think would be amazing at this business. And then get a date right then and there. If we have an event that's going on in the next 48 hour, within the next 48-hour window, invite them and bring them to that event. But if there's not a Discover event or type of event where they're going to be exposed to Arbonne in the next 48 hours, you've got to create one by either meeting them for coffee or doing a call with them over the phone if they're long distance, but you've got to figure out a way to get the information in front of them within 48 hours or less. Now, the two next questions are critical and probably what I'm most excited about. Once you do that, you can say, before you answer, I have two questions for you. Will you promise me that you will feel comfortable saying no if you aren't interested? but also promise me that you won't say no until you know what you're saying no to. And that way, it will allow me to share the information first, and you can make an informed decision. Would you be willing to do that? You guys, who's going to say no to that? And what you've just done is you've given them permission to tell you no, because bottom line is, if they don't want to, I'm not going to press them to do this business with me. But I want them to have the information. As a consultant, my job is to get the information in front of them, and I can be rest my head on my pillow at night knowing that they've got the information if they say no. I can be okay with that. But if I have never given them the information and they've said no, then I haven't done my job, right? I haven't allowed them the opportunity to be informed about what they're saying no to. So these last two questions, I truly believe will be the game changer for all of us. And last night, she absolutely was like, yeah, I can do that. So we are meeting actually tomorrow. So this is very, very important verbiage for you guys to help share the business opportunity. And here's what she also expressed. She said, what she has found with businesses that aren't growing is they're not sharing it fast enough. They share it, and then they hone in on the one or two that are on the fence, or one or two that say yes, but they forget to keep sharing the business and giving those people the proof that what you're doing is working, right? We've got to be the proof for people that what we're doing is working. And if we're just honing in on the one, we're not out there showing them what to do. We're just telling them. And just like with our own kids, kids will do what they see, not what they're told, right? So we've got to be the proof for people and give people the evidence of the success that's going on in this business, and be the press that breathes life into people instead. So, and that's what this will do. We've got to get out there and start sharing it faster and with more people. Why activity is king is the very reason we book 10 activities, because we know 2 are going to cancel. 2 of them we might get 0 bookings. One of them we might get 3 bookings. Another one we might get 1 booking, and another one 2. But if we set ourselves up with 10 activities, we're giving us a good shot at having 10 activities for the following month, right? We're upping our odds and giving ourselves an advantage for next month, and not having to be on the call or on the phones feeling like we're starting over again, getting that cycle of activities started. So buckle down and get your activity in place, and then live it out and see what happens. But this is generally the statistics that you will see with a business that has 10 activities. We give ourselves you'll look at things differently when parties cancel or when you get 0 bookings. You won't look at it as being desperate anymore, because you still have other activity that you know will breed future activity. You know, if I only have 4 activities on my calendar and I get no bookings for the next month, I mean, I can't be disappointed in that, because that's the business I set up. That's the advantage I gave myself. I did that. Nobody else did that, right? So, but when I set up with more activity, I give myself higher odds. This slide in particular, I think, is so important, and we kind of talked about this, but this is where we've got to quit padding the footsteps of the people that are following us. We've got to quit doing that. Everyone has to pay a price for this business. We're either going to pay it up front or later down the road, but there's always going to be a price to pay. And honestly, I would rather pay now and play later than play now and pay later. You know, bottom line is everyone has to pay. And the price that I had to pay and the things that I had to miss out on, or games or activities or family events that I had to miss out on because I was so purpose-driven on growing my business and willing to sacrifice those things then, I get to enjoy the fruit of now. My husband gets to enjoy the fruit of now. And to me, that was much less of a price to do that and to sacrifice those moments than it would be to have to sacrifice them the rest of our life, because neither one of us would be available, because we would be out there trying to run the rat race. So you've got to decide, what price are you willing to pay? Because there's always going to be a price to pay. And then the last thing I want to share with you, or one of the other things I want to share with you guys, is you've got to have a giraffe-like vision in this business. And I love this picture because what you've got to know and understand is that a giraffe can see further distances than everyone else around them. And we're a lot like that in this business, you guys. We understand the power of this business because we see the promotions. We see the watch and believe videos that I've been posting every single week that are all part of Carlita's organization, of the diverse group of backgrounds and people that are being successful in this business. We know the truth of this business and what it can be. But the people we're sharing it with around us don't have that vision yet. So we've got to have it. So you need to be fueling yourself up. Watch those watch and believe videos. Allow those to breathe hope and belief in you as well. And so that you can go out there and be that vision for other people, or give them a look into your vision by painting that picture for them. We have got the last thing, I'm going to back up here for just a second. The other thing that I wanted to mention to you guys that I believe is also equally important is understanding what you've been given. You know, I do believe that this was a calling. I believe God has his hand on this business. I believe it is favored, because I do not believe you can have a business like this and have access to so many people to help impact their lives in such an incredible way, and it not be the hand of God on this business. I truly believe that. And I think we have forgotten that. Some of us have forgotten that, because if you could understand this business and the magnitude that it truly is, and how it truly does give you access to not only meet your needs and to live better and bigger in this life, and to live out your greatness, but it allows you to have that same impact on other people's lives. And to me, me being out there and sharing the gift of what this business is doing for people is an act of obedience on my part, because I was not given this business to be fearful to share it with people, or to hold it back, or to be selective of who I share it with. I was given this opportunity because I've been entrusted with it. I've been entrusted with it to go out and to share it freely with people that God places in my path. And when you start to see your business in that way, you guys, you'll stop seeing people as dollar signs in this business, and you will start seeing people as lives that can be changed and impacted in an incredible, incredible way. And that is why we're in this business. The products are amazing, and they are changing people's health every single day. But the business that is attached to these products, you guys, is changing people's lives. And that is not to be taken lightly. And if you're on this call today, or you're listening to this recording, I'm telling you right now, you have a gift that's meant to be shared. You have been given this because you have been entrusted with it. And I personally believe you've been chosen to be the hands and feet of what this business can do and be for others. But you've got to understand that and value it that way. And when you do, you will prioritize, and you will see what you have, and understand the effect that it can have on generations to come, and on the people that are all around you. Not everyone is going to join you in this business, but if you are out there willingly sharing it, the right ones will. Because this gift will be given to those who God can entrust to go out and be the light of the world, the salt and light of the world. And I believe that is the greater picture, the greater vision that we all have to have in this business. You guys, never walk out on your why. You will never see me walk out on your why. So why would you? You will never see me walk out on the hope that this business has given your family. Why would you walk out on that? You will never see me walk out on your dreams for this business. Why would you? Guys, never walk out on your why, because when you walk out on your why, here's the truth. You walk out on your team's why, your future team's why. You walk out on your dreams, your family, and all the lives that you were meant to impact through this opportunity, through this avenue, through this vehicle called Arbonne. You walk out on all of them. Guys, you will never see me walk out on you. I truly believe that I have been entrusted to each one of you. And I want to serve you, but I want to serve you well. And I want you to serve you with truth and with love. You guys, most people sadly only live up to 10% of their potential in this world. Most people only live up to 10% of the potential that they have. Guys, this business allows us to live into our full potential. People out there, you guys, live a mundane life. They have settled for less than their best. And they're trying to survive life. They're trying to get by. You have been given a vehicle to help people live beyond that, to live beyond their closed vision that they have right now for their life. You have been given an opportunity to express hope and to allow people to dream again. People that literally have shelved their dreams and have not thought much about them since their younger years and have allowed that to be stolen from them. You have the opportunity to help empower people with the same gift that you've been given. But you've got to live it out too. You've got to be the proof, the evidence, the example for those people. You guys, it's kind of like the law of the rubber band, and John Maxwell shared this, and I thought this was such a good illustration. But a rubber band, you guys, is useless in its natural state. It's useless. It's meant to be stretched. And only time, it's meant to be stretched, and the only time we perform is when we are stretched. So the only time that you choose to be plugged in and in your activity is the time that you're willing to be stretched. Because our greatest achievements, just like the rubber band, are only as good as their last stretch. Okay? If you're not growing, you're slowing. Okay? You're slowing. So God's gift to us is our potential, and our gift back to Him is developing that potential. So are you guys willing to rise up and to work and live into your greatest potential, and to work a life and live a life of excellence? Because that's what we were designed to do, and what this business allows us to do in a magnified way. You guys, quit living small. And I feel like that's what we have done. If your team's not growing, we're living small. We're holding back the gift that we've been given. And instead, we need to act in obedience. We need to act in boldness and courage, and trust that God is going to help us shake hands with the right people. He's going to allow people to cross our paths that need us to be a voice for Him. Absolutely. So quit playing small. You have access to an opportunity that is changing lives daily, and you need to understand that and believe that. Because I'm going to ask you a question. Are you living your life like your dreams depend on it? Because they do. Your dreams depend on that. You guys, this is not some cliche statement or a quote that's meant to be on your wall. I am telling you today, your dreams can become your reality in this business. I have lived it. I have giraffe-like vision. I have seen what this business has done for me, and I have seen what it has done from the endless number of people, of lives that it has impacted and touched. The truth of this is, you guys, only 90% of the people in this business, 90% will fail in this business, because they won't be willing to pay retail. 10% of the people will succeed. I want you guys to be the 10% that succeed, but you have to be willing to pay retail the way I did. You have to be willing to do what you need to do to be obedient with what you've been given and what you've been called to do, because if God has called you to it, He will call you through it. And He believes that you have gifts in you that are meant to be shared. And He has entrusted you with this because He knows what you can do with it. But you've got to be obedient in that. And I think that's where we have pulled back. And if we are not growing, guys, then we're settling. We've got to be willing to be willing to be changed and molded and to grow into our greatness. The good news, you guys, is you have the tools it takes to be successful in this business. But are you taking full advantage of them? This business is a business, yes, but it is a life-changing business. And the people that you're going to be able to impact, you guys, that you don't even know yet, are depending on you. They're depending on you today to be obedient with what you've been given so that they can have the same options that you have today. Guys, we've got to rise up. We've got to rise up, and we've got to live beyond where we're living today. And that's where I want you guys to stretch yourself and to understand that your goals, your dreams, you guys, are on the other side of that stretch. Each one of us have to go through that in order to be successful in this business. And it's not the title we're looking for. It's the growth. It's the journey that we're on. So I'm going to leave you guys with some action steps. I want you to take a picture of this so you can go act on it afterwards. But I want you to print off the forms that I shared with you today, the RVP goal breakdown and 40 faces on Tammy's website. I want you to print out the Dream Team worksheet with questions that we went over today. That's on Carlita's website. And she also has an action plan to a solid launch to your business form that's on there that I want you to get really familiar with and print out. So that's 4 documents you're printing out. And then I want you to watch the action plan to a solid launch to your business video that is on Carlita's website and follow along with your action plan that she has. And then I also want you to watch the Eric Ward video that talks about overcoming all objections in network marketing. Guys, these are all meant to empower you and grow you into your greatness. And then order your 15 invaluable laws of growth and then plug into your power source. You guys, it is a critical part of your recipe for success for a reason. So take a snapshot of this picture of this particular page and go act on these things, you guys. It's not enough for you to show up on this call, but it's what you do with this call that's going to make the difference moving forward. So I love you guys. Thank you for trusting my leadership. Thank you for joining me on this call and allowing me to share with you what I feel I'm being obedient with and pouring into all of you and making sure that you are equipped with what you know will get you where you want to go in this business so that you can be the difference that you want to see. I love you guys. Have an incredible day, and I look forward to all the celebrating and of the lives that we're going to be able to impact in our circle of influence. Love you.